Hello and welcome. Today we're gonna do a quick dive into influence and intrigue. Influence meaning the things that kind of push us to do something, right? We have influencers, influential people or things being under the influence, things that kind of change the way we think or act or our thoughts on certain items. And then intrigue, that usually comes more from inner. Influence is something that's coming from a second party or another person, and intrigue usually comes from somewhere deeper in our own, person. Right? You could call it in your brain, in your mind, in your mentality, in your heart, in your soul, but something that kind of just draws up sort of naturally, I would say. So we are constantly being influenced to this or that. And while some is good and some is bad, when do we ever ask ourselves, is it for the better that we're being influenced? In general or in specific situations, we want to be influenced to figure out what, outfits we wear because we want to, fit in socially at school or in society or anything else like that. We want to be, influenced to try this drink over another one, Gatorade over Powerade. We're being influenced in so many ways, but is it really for the better, or are we kind of just trying to cut out a middleman, not be original anymore? All those things. And if we don't know if it's for the better, how do we know if it's for the best, our best, the collective best of the people around us in our community or our families or anything else like that? So with that, we are constantly, we're combating the influences out there, marketing, media, and everything else like that. Some people swear that they're not, being influenced. Other people, are hook, line, and sinker. And in all honesty, whatever side you're on, I'm not really mad at you. It is what it is. What I want to touch on really fast is what about the things that aren't really pulling us, or outside voices really telling us, and it's kind of just coming from somewhere deep within. Maybe there's something in our hearts that intrigues us, but what? And the deepest level of all of our whys, maybe there's something so deep that we kind of just follow towards it sometimes, or maybe it kind of scares us, so we push it away. And here that question would be pointed at, our faith, a higher being, a higher power, God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, any you name it, because here in our little collective, and what we do is we try to figure those little things out. And as we try to, what we have to ask ourselves is, why are these thoughts popping up? Why is it becoming more prevalent that I want or I'm thinking of? And why does it matter to me? Does it matter to me? A big portion of, classic Christian or especially Catholic backgrounds, like, you kind of just get brought up in it and you don't really care too much, but it's just what you do and everything else like that. There's really no intrigue in it. Our families and parents and communities are hoping we could get influenced into it, but if there's no intrigue at the heart of who you are, it's not going to take you far. And then it can also go into that small little spark of intrigue being killed off by, whatever items might pop up. So my question is, how do we go about pursuing that? Or maybe this is your question too. How do we go about pursuing that intrigue that we have? Right? You could go into your schools and your educational spheres, hobbies, and everything else like that. And maybe this would apply to it as well. But for here, it's how do we go into that intrigue of there being more in life, there being a higher power, there being like something greater? How do we go about pursuing that? And how do we go about pursuing that without being discouraged? Because for a lot of people, it's going to take time. A lot of us are time poor. We don't want to invest more than a couple hours a day maybe, and hopefully we see kind of immediate response, and we want to be able to see tangible outcomes and everything else like that. So how do we go about without being discouraged? And there's so many answers to that. And as we journey together, or just as you hear all of these different videos and inputs that we do, is first and foremost, we got to give it time. And we have to find people who will help us kind of sift through all the confusion, all the ups and downs, all the dull aches and all the heartaches. So what I would propose is for our intrigue to let it sit for a little bit. Let it sit and then slowly start to uncover it. Yes, a lot of people will be like, oh no, dive headlong into it and learn all those cool, things and get every little bit you can, and you're on fire for whatever. And if that's what you want to do, go for it. I'm only telling you the things that I have experienced myself or seen from other people, that slow unraveling of, it's a marathon. It's a life marathon that we're really on. It actually really, it's a eternal marathon. Something that lasts past our life on earth. So we can take a little bit of time, and knowing that we don't have to have it all figured out within 2, 3, or 4 weeks or months or even years, but we have to constantly keep moving forward. We have to keep moving in a direction that's improving who we are as a whole. I read a quote today that you are okay if you miss the target, but please just shoot your arrows. And it's better to go forward than be stuck. With that, I hope this little bit, I tried to keep this one shorter, but I hope this little bit of information gives you kind of a way to balance the two, the influence and the intrigue in our life. And for you to know that it's okay to have this, this intrigue, and to slowly unravel it, to slowly get to understand the glories that are from and of God. So if you have any other inputs, please feel free. Until next time, take care.